A big balance change update is on its way. We're going to be getting into all the different changes, when they should be coming, as well as some fun free rewards, as in pins and things like that, if you missed them towards the later half of the video. Now quickly, before we dive into them, when are these balance changes coming? The dev team have clarified that they're going to be coming out next week. No specific date or anything like that. Basically what they're trying to do is holding these balance changes for a maintenance coming out, where they can also address any issues with the Angels versus Demons event. That way they don't have to do two different maintenance breaks. So I'm guessing if I were a betting man, it's going to come out a few days after the new season arrives. Bro, there's a lot of good stuff here. Kenji, Mo nerfs, and an Ashe buff. Bro, we're getting into all of it, but starting off with some important nerfs. One, I should say a few, to Mo. The first nerf to Mo is a projectile speed decrease from 3,600 to 2,800. It's actually really noticeable, but on top of that, he's also getting a damage decrease. Beforehand, you could see him dealing 1,080 damage per projectile, and now it's just this clean 1,000, right? Throughout the Brawl Stars World Finals, Mo was like the nuisance. Mo, by far the best brawler in the entire meta. We were thinking Mo and Kenji would be the issue, but leagues and leagues above Kenji, Mo was the problem and has been since his release. So I think this should really help him, damper him down in the meta. If you guys are sick of playing against Mo, he shouldn't be as big of an issue. Two significant nerfs to his basic attack is quite big. Kenji also got two pretty dang substantial nerfs as well. The very first one is to his broken star power. The damage reduction was once 90%, it is now 60. While on top of that, the other nerf to his kit is going to be super regeneration from his super, from 100% to 65. Quite the substantial decrease. So you're still going to be able to get the same super regen from your basic attacks, but you're not going to be able to cycle as much from your super, right? One super there, two slashes hitting, not even getting us halfway. Showing off the difference here with one super before the nerfs. As you can see, it's well above half. I think these are really good nerfs to Kenji without making him feel horrible if you ended up just unlocking him. You know, the new brawler curse, they're insanely broken but then get nerfed. I think it allows him to be more of an assassin, where you have to be a bit more tactical with what you do going in, and it's going to mitigate that annoying super cycling where Kenji is just constantly in the air and you can't deal damage to him. Still good. I think it's good. Next up, we have a simpler nerf, and that is to Larry and Lori. I don't believe this is programmed into the dev build just yet, but it's just an HP decrease from 3,000 to 2,800 when at power level 1. I don't think I was aware of how good Larry and Lori was in the meta. Might just be something that the dev team has values of, but I did see Larry and Lori played in the Brawl Stars World Finals quite a bit. It almost seems like Adrian used quite a bit of data from the Brawl Stars World Finals, which I think is really good. It's priceless info, right? But again, these values should be different when the balance changes go live. I don't believe this is implemented just yet. But now that we got a smaller nerf out of the way, let's move along to another big nerf, and that is to Surge. Surge, very good in the meta, also picked quite a bit during the Brawl Stars World Finals, and the direction that the dev team took to nerf him is the hypercharge charge rate. From 30% to 20%, so 10% decrease to that hypercharge charge rate. To you visual learners out there, here's 3 shots. And what it is now, a bit less than 1/4 charge on 3 basic attacks. And here's an example of what it is right now. With 3 basic attacks, it is well above 1/4 charge. Surge is just good default even without the hypercharge, but the hypercharge had a lot of swing potential. Being able to get that a few times during one game is pivotal. Moving along to another significant nerf and another key player in the Brawl Stars World Finals. Believe it or not, it's very strange to say that, but Frank, bro, Frank was insane there. But he got a main attack damage decrease from 1,240 to 1,160 here. They must not have programmed some of these just yet, but he is dealing less damage with the nerf. Sorry, I can't show you guys visually what it's going to feel like, but it's just dev build things. Moving along to one of the more interesting nerfs. Once again, we're not able to see the actual fruits of the nerf in the dev build here, but it's going to be going to our boy Clancy. A pretty dang substantial damage decrease for his basic attack and his super. It's really, really interesting. Clancy beforehand used to deal 800 damage no matter what rank he was. You're just dealing more because you're upgrading the amount of shots you have, right? But now at his base, he's only going to be dealing 600 damage when at power level 1. Once you upgrade to tier 2, you're dealing 700 damage per projectile, and then finally at tier 3, you're dealing that 800, which it was beforehand base. But at level 1, I believe it should be like 1,200, and then once we upgrade, these shots at level 2 should be dealing 1,400, and so on and so forth. Once we get to tier 3, your shots will be dealing 1,600, much like this. And now I assume the final damage output, which I'm guessing we can't see as well, but it's to the super damage when at level 3. The projectiles, once dealt 760, they now are going to be dealing 700, so less burst potential. He's still going to be able to melt down people like crazy. I just think what they ended up doing for him is just making him feel even more weak when you're not at tier or level 3, right? But then moving along to the final nerf of this episode here today before we get into the buffs. That nerf is going to be going to Gale. Once again, pretty dang popular in the Brawl Stars World Finals. What they ended up focusing on for his nerf was to his super charge rate, specifically from his basic attack. The values are 90 to 80, which sometimes these values don't make a lot of sense. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around, but in layman's terms, before it took about 4 shots to get your super, but now it should be around 5. But next up, rounding the corner to the buffs. The very first buff, I guess a kind of interesting one, is going to be going to Charlie. Charlie has been meta for a little bit now, but has been in the past. It's a very simple one, a buff to her basic attack from 760 damage to 800, dealing 1,600 at max level. And before the buff, she was dealing 1,520. So should be pretty good. She does pretty good damage output when you're really, really close to someone. So I think this should help her out overall. And when you look at it, damage increases anywhere seem to be really significant buffs. So I think Charlie might be meta again. We'll have to wait and see. Getting two really, really simple ones out of the way before we get into the best for last, my people. We have health increases. This one also is not programmed into the build just yet, but Spike is getting a health increase of 200 at level 1, 2,600 to 2,800. And then Brock is also getting a health increase of a value of 300 from 2,400 to 2,700. But finally, ladies and gentlemen, the best for last. Our trash man friend is finally getting a buff, dude. Oh my goodness, he's been bad for a long time, right? Hey, trash. Know what I'm saying? Ash is going to be getting a 20% buff to the rage that he gets from getting hit from 150 to 180. So it's just going to be that much more easy to ramp up and get more damage from this guy. The biggest thing holding Ash back in the meta right now is just how difficult it is to get that rage bar going. And if you don't have any rage, you are pretty dang bad, right? You're slow, you don't do much damage. So it's imperative to get that rage meter up so you can have some impact in the game. So taking a lot of damage and dealing damage, you're just going to be getting that rage bar quicker and you'll be able to do more things for your team. Really hoping this feels good on Ash here in the next meta. This guy has been very bad for a very long time and he's incredibly fun to play. He's a really, really fun brawler. So we'll see how this impacts him. Probably my favorite or most intriguing change to me on the list today. I can't wait to try him once the buffs come around. But those are the balance changes, ladies and gentlemen. 11 different brawlers getting tweaked here with this patch. So I cannot wait to see how this turns out, dude. Like I said before, I'm one of the biggest fans of balance changes. It feels like a new update, right? It's so refreshing. You guys have to let me know what you're thinking about the changes. Which one are you most excited for? I'm guessing it's going to be Ash. I can't wait to try him out. But as promised, we're getting into free is always good territory. Now, I assumed when I first saw this post that the majority of you guys should already have all of these pins. However, I don't think that was the case based on the traction of this tweet, garnering 13,000 likes. I think this is a wonderful reminder, seeing that we had quite a bit of influx of newer players with the last few updates, as well as maybe you're just not clicking every link inside of Brawl Talks. But thanks to Brawl Source for doctoring this up, here are all the usable links that still work from past Brawl Talks or just freebies here in the game that are quite old. So I'll leave this up on the screen. You guys can just scan the QR codes here. Whatever pin you do not have, make sure to pick it up. The codes last for quite a long time, the links. I believe that clown pin is really, really old, and we're even seeing a pin from mutations. So I wouldn't hold it against you if you ended up missing one of these. So make sure to scan it, make sure to get your free stuff. Free is always good, people. Let's go. But there you have it, everyone. Hopefully this video was helpful to you guys in some way. Balance changes coming around the corner here very, very soon. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll be talking super soon. Adios. Take care.